Since everybody's in the Carmelo Anthony's algorithm, hey, I gotta get a Carmelo Anthony algorithm video to hit this channel right now. So really, what does Carmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf and Triple H and WWE have in common? It's all fake nonsense, fake political, all this. Everyone knows that Carmelo Anthony trial was rigged. You can just go through the whole thing. They had to come out with the outcome. You can't have black people just killing white people and getting off. Even though this isn't what that was, especially in Texas, you can't have it. Now, what they would have preferred was Carmelo Anthony just, get beat up. That's what they wanted to say. Now, I think everyone has common sense. If someone puts their hands on you, right? Like a shove or a push, you can't just outright stab them. Like, I think that's the common sense, stuff. Like, you just can't stab somebody because they push you or shove you. If they're beating you up horribly, or they're coming at you with a baseball bat or another knife, or they want a level playing field, but we all know that's exactly not what happened. Just from all the eyewitness and even the footage, and from people that were at the trial and saw the footage, they came out saying, man, it was like 4-on-1, and then they had some more people coming, and they said, hey, Carmelo tried to leave, they pulled him back in, and you can even see in his mug shot or whatever they took, his nose was swollen and he had some dreads missing. So it was going to get to the point where you were going to have like 4 people jumping him, and essentially he was being captive, because if you're trying to leave and they pulling you back in, hey, he did what he thought, and like they say, it wasn't a knife. They saying it was a cleat sharpener. Some other people saying it was like a tool where it's different little tools on one tool. Like one might be like the little pocket knife part, then you might have some pliers on one. It was like a multi-tool. So he didn't just bring a knife looking, to kill somebody, which, hey, I would say keep a knife on you at all times, or some pepper spray or something, have something, because just because you had a track meet, you might walk into a convenience store, you might be pumping gas or something, and you get into an altercation, but that's nevertheless, for a fact the trial was rigged. So, I mean, there's no argument in that. But they're trying to put black versus white and hype up some race war, because they need that. They need America to do a race war to distract from all the other stuff. But I think white people and black people, they just know. White people are just going with that narrative that Carmelo Anthony just stabbed a white dude, and that's not what happened. Now, it's like 50-50. You have some black people saying, you can't just stab, a white person because they shove you. Everyone with a brain knows that. Everyone with a brain knows that. And you just got people that's pointing out the facts of what happened. Now, the trial was rigged. You can do your own research on that. And basically, it was just the state saying, we don't want black people to just be going around stabbing white people. It's not okay. Everyone knows that. You can't do that, but justice was not served. And what does that have to do with WWE, TKO, and Triple H? It's the same thing in WWE. Black justice ain't served in the WWE. Now, recently, it had gotten so bad, Triple H was getting blowback from the fans, saying, hey, you ain't propping up black people. So what does Triple H do? Gives Naomi the belt. Bianca and Jay, they had the tag titles. They put the belt on Trick. They put the belt on Karmelo. Still no black world heavyweight champion. They trying to say Cody's black. Cody's not black. That's why Cody came out talking about Raheem Rhodes. You let Obafemi win, but that's not for a belt. We gotta stop this. There's no black world heavyweight champions. Granted, Triple H isn't making new stars, and he doesn't care to make any new stars. What does AEW do? Boom, give that to Swerve. R-Truth. He gets the most pop. He had a firecracker underneath him. He's turning. He's about to feud with John Cena, and Triple H put that fire out fast. You're not even gonna let R-Truth be great. So, those racist allegations on Triple H, they still stick. Trick was gonna be a star with or without Triple H. Triple H gonna give Trick Williams that LA Knight treatment. You pairing him with Lil Yachty, and they doing gingerbread man nonsense. Like, come on. Carmelo Hayes gave him the U.S. champion. Oh, he's a fighting champion. People falling asleep on that. No story. It's not that Carmelo Hayes can't wrestle. You won't give him a decent storyline. That's the problem. You're gonna put the belt on him to do nothing but go out and have meaningless matches. So that's how Triple H gets over. So it's what they gonna do with Royce Keys. Royce Keys is just gonna be a main jobber. That's it. He gonna be a jobber. Javon Evans, he's bouncy. Like that's all they're gonna do with Javon Evans. Javon Evans is going no further than the IC title, if he even gets the IC title. Javon Evans ain't gonna make it. God, I don't even know if he's gonna get that US. I can't see him even getting in that main event picture no time soon. In reality, this should be his, young years, early years, and then he could be that Shawn Michaels figure. Give him like 5 years, he should be entertaining in the main card, but they ain't gonna do that. Oba is destined for the WWE title or the World Heavyweight Championship title. And they're going to hold him up with this Brock stuff. They're not going to let him win King of the Ring. And They probably gonna throw Oba back on SmackDown. Or they just gonna take him off the, main title card. They gonna find a way to let Oba start jobbing out. They gonna find a way. They always do that. That fire that's under Oba, Triple H he can't wait to put that out. Triple H said, I'm not making new stars. I'm not gonna have a star bigger than the company. And all he's saying is, I'm not gonna have a black superstar in the making. Like, we putting that out. Jada Parker ain't going nowhere. So Ruka, people gonna get bored of her. And hey, So Ruka's supposedly half black. Let's be honest, So Ruka is white. Like, the girl got blonde hair and she's a surfer, right? Go look at Soul Ruka's family. Like stop it. They couldn't wait to put first black woman Intercontinental champ. No, just say biracial, okay? Soul Ruka, I don't know. People, man, these women cheat. Is that dude Soul Ruka's daddy? I don't know. Y'all go look it up. Let me know. To me, it don't matter. I mean, look at Mercedes Moné. Like, you could tell she got some black in it. Now, who else? I mean, Naomi, Bianca, they got pregnant, they got injured too. Like, they was carrying that women's division. And man, I don't know what to say. Y'all know what's going on with Trick. Y'all know what's going on with Karmelo. R-Truth is, I ain't got nothing to say about R-Truth. Nothing. But all in all, Triple H is that Texas legal system. That's what it is. Is TKO racist? Hell, I don't think so. I don't think TKO is racist. TKO only cares about money. TKO don't care what Triple H do. Now The Rock is on the board of TKO. I don't think The Rock is racist. I just think The Rock is going to do what's best for the Samoan culture. And if black people, if he sees where he can get someone over and not, just have them job out, I think The Rock will be in favor for that. But all in all, Triple H, man, is, you gotta call it like you see it, Mr. I don't see color. Yeah, that's racist. If you don't see color, hey, that's a racist statement. Like, you gotta understand, where black people are coming from. And Triple H knows that. That's just a PR move. It's just a PR move. But just like what happened with Carmelo Anthony, justice wasn't served. Just like in WWE. If Triple H got anything to do with it, justice will not be served. Fairness is not granted in the WWE if you're black. So what does Carmelo Anthony case and Triple H have in common? Put that in the comment section.